Actually, there's one work commissioned and done for this show. It's the entrance near the circle of light ends here. And the other works are kind of, overview of my interests since 2006, I guess. I might say it's the weirdest work from this whole show because every other work has particular references, and this one actually has references, but they are very weird because I found some blog from a guy who is kind of occult interest person and in Kabbalah also, and he had a dream actually, and then he drew something like the circle of light starts here. It kind of coded itself in my mind for a few years, and then it came back. It's kind of perversive, to say through RGB, colors that the circle of lights ends here, and it's a sort of contradiction in a way. The Haunebu project and the Strange Tourist, because they're both actually related to UFOs. The Haunebu is, of course, the most tempting and spectacular conspiracy theory that Nazis did invent flying saucers during the Second World War, and then they almost won the Second World War. And of course, then this Finnish film was made recently about the Nazis coming from the moon, which is kind of nice joke, but in a sense, I'm very interested in these ideas which some people treat them as facts or hidden facts, and some other people deny their existence or something like that. I think it's a very interesting moment for an artist to be actually on this thin line between the fiction and truth. The Haunebu project, it confuses people, and I like that. While this work was shown in Germany, it really brought a lot of different audience to the gallery. And normally people who never went to any art gallery, like military freaks, sort of homemade historians. And that created some sort of virus, actually. I hope it's subversive. It could be subversive. It looks cool, looks nice, because it's sort of sophisticated design, yeah? But then we're talking about things which are inherently bad, but they look cool. Strange Tourist. It's about a Polish case, which also is interesting because of the shape of the Polish UFO. It's actually quite different. It's not a flying saucer, it's a small house. It's a countryside house, which is really weird. As humans, we probably afraid of things we don't know, basically. And we kind of, because of our fear, we create this, hypotheses, these theories which help us to understand what's going on while we don't understand, probably. That's why I'm so interested in those things, because that's, in a way, it's just the way of understanding. If you start to blame some people for things which, happen to you, it's kind of easier, probably, to survive, the moment of weakness or something. Each neon piece on this floor here, its own history in a way. There are kind of quotes which come from the actual persons in the past, and they bring cut off from the longer sentences or something. Like, for example, this is the it's a scandal that Paul cannot hit or an unarmed person. It actually comes from Jewish origin person who was a victim during the Krakow anti-Semitic case in 1945 after the Second World War. And this is the quote from actual talk of two doctors in a hospital. And it's again about fear, kind of. Fear of strangers, fear of cultures we don't understand actually, and we just don't want to. Like, for example, you're never going to be a Pole. It's inspired by racist, actually, case which happened in Bialystok and Łódź also in 2007 when one Polish football player, he was an origin Brazilian, and then he got a Polish, citizenship. And then football fans started to put those signs on the stadium saying, "Roger, you're never gonna be a Pole." So that shows the kind of tension, like this fear actually, which I'm very interested in. Probably history, not probably, but for sure history creates our present actually. And plus history is a very political thing, and you can easily manipulate history and kind of use it as the educational tool. The historical politic, it's a very efficient way of governing a nation or ruling a nation. And you basically use the history as the idea which can drive a nation for something, like very often for war. We know that from the past. And I'm very interested in manipulation in a way. That's why probably this history comes as the kind of motto for this.